Welcome back to the Real Estate Rat Pack Radio Show with Chris, Joe, and Rob. The crew is taking your calls, so dial in at 1-800-808-5548.
Now, we are getting mics on notification. I'm not used to this yet. Yes. I'm used to catching us.
Yeah, which is kind of funny, actually.
There you
So,
go. Yeah, extra
well,
today.
Joe, you've invited a guest on. I think you ought to make the introduction.
Yeah, you know what? This is a really good friend of mine. We've enjoyed grilling at my house and steaks and all sorts of stuff. Has a tremendous story. Just a wonderful, wonderful guy. Rodolfo, who didn't bring his lovely wife that I'm still very disappointed about.
Actually, that was really good. You walk in, Rodolfo, how you doing? Where's your wife?
That's the first question that people ask me all the time. Where's your wife? I don't know what that means yet.
That's a great sign of you marrying up then.
Yeah. Hey, Rodolfo, give us a little background, who you are, where you came from, and all that sort of thing. I love your story. I love the application process you tell me about when you come here. You got to share that with us.
Absolutely. No, by the way, guys, thank you for the chance to be and speaking with you guys. I know Joe, and we have a good friendship, good relationship. I know their family, great people, and it's great to be in the radio show. And, of course, Chris, and they are the experts. And Rob, what I can tell about him, they are the experts in their field. So I'm glad to be here with you guys today. So you wanted to know my story about what happened with my application. I'm going to tell you that story, And I'm an economist. I'm a professional. I'm an economist. I'm a financial guy. And I remember coming to the U.S. If you think that I have an accent, there is a reason why I have an accent. And
You're from Louisiana?
I'm from Louisiana. And I'm from El Salvador, by the way. And I remember I come into America because I got a scholarship to go to study in UCLA. And I was studying there and everything. And I got a job offer, and I go to different places because if you're in my country, if you say that you're working at Walmart or Sears, that's a big deal. If you say they're working there, and I remember going there, and I go with my resume there, and I say, listen, I'm an economist, I'm a professional, I'm a financial advisor, I'm studying my master's degree in UCLA. The guy says, well, I barely can understand what you're saying right now, but we have a great job for you. So what is it? It's called loss prevention. And I think what I mean, why you mean? Oh, so that means that I'm a financial guy. So that means that I'm gonna be looking at the profit and losses of the company. The guy said, no, you're a security guard. And that's crazy how I started. And then all these things that happen in our life, in our world, in our life. So I heard that we have somebody in the call?
Yeah, we have somebody
called
in.
We definitely do. We have a caller right now. Bill, how are you doing?
Hey, doing great.
Oh, perfect. Appreciate you calling into the show.
Yeah, I have a question. It's real estate, and I listened prior to that, but how's that wealth planning? How do you put your eggs in which basket? How's that process? Can you have that lady explain that? Elizabeth, I think is her name. Just explain that.
Hey, Bill, you're on air.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he was asking the wealth building process. Do you put all your eggs in one basket? What's your approach on that?
Hey, Bill, thank you for calling. One of the biggest things in America is that you have so many options. So when you talk about, diversification, most people think it's about, where to put your money. And, that actually entails also, how many different ways you have to diversify your risk. And that entails not only money or investment, it also can be, you should have in your portfolio some savings on one side on a fixed side, but you can also have some investment in the real estate property, which actually, carries some value that is going to be growing through the years and potentially can become a source of extra income, in the near future. Most people think when they talk about financial independence, that is only about how much money you have in your nest egg. Well, guess what? That nest egg can have properties within it, and that will diversify whatever you're doing. But you should always start from where you are right now, and you should seek, professional assistance in anything that you're going to be doing before making a plan, making sure that is a custom-made plan for you that works for your family.
Excellent.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Rodolfo, do you want to chime in on that as well?
Yeah, I remember when I became an economist, I was I became a professional in corporate finances. I learned how the corporation works their finances and the economy. Then when I started working with the family's wealth was kind of different because there are actually 3 questions that people need to ask themselves when they are planning to with their own family. There is actually what they want to do with their money. What is important for them? That is the number 1 question that people need to answer to themselves. The second will be when they want to, for example, retire, or when they want to use their money. If they want to use their money, if I have a family who wants to use their money to buy a house, or maybe they want to retire in 10 years. When? A lot of people don't ask that question. They just say, I just want to put my money over there, and I have no idea what am I gonna do with that.
Or if I.
And the last one will be why. A lot of people don't ask us, why do I want to invest my money? What's the reason for it? Do I want to accumulate wealth? Do I want to have an income for life? Do I want to, whatever the reason is, I would say those are the 3 questions that everybody needs to ask: what, when, and why.
And one thing that we could ask is also, the taxable position of your assets, because in this country, you need to know how assets will affect the amount of money that you have accumulated through the years. It's not the same to have $1 million in a savings account that in a real estate property that in a 401k. The money comes out differently, and how long it's going to last also has an impact of how long will you be retired, or if you need to retire in somebody else's house, like your kids, for example, if you don't do proper planning.
Okay.
Thanks for calling, Bill, and I don't know if Bill already hung up there, but we appreciate the call there and hope that answered the question. I know that you both have different expertises and that type of thing, but we got a real estate show going here, and
Go on.
What I'm curious about is for our audience who is maybe considering that purchase of a home, either for the first time or perhaps as an investment strategy, moving up or downsizing, either direction. What are some of the advice you give folks when they're looking at a home purchase, and what's the plan for that?
In the planning for a house, I will ask the same question to the people. When are you planning to buy the house, and start saving for that? In money, similar to exercising. Everybody knows what they need to know if they want to lose weight. Everybody knows that we need to do weights, we need to do diet. Everybody knows. If I keep telling you guys we need to save money, we need to do that. But the problem is that sometimes we don't have the discipline. And what I recommend to majority of families, when majority of people start with a little bit. What we're doing on a study, and they say, majority of people, let's talk about saving money. Let's say I want to have $1 million. Let's say one day I want to have $1 million. Maybe you thought about it before. Maybe one day you say, one day I'm going to become a millionaire, and I want to have $1 million cash. So we did the study, and we say how much money you need to save every month in order to have $1 million. If you want to have $1 million, let's say 40 years from now, let's say I'm 25 years old and I want to have $1 million when I'm 65, I need to save only $286 every month. Imagine that. But imagine the other day I sit down with somebody who was 25 years old, and I was telling, hey, you need to save money. If you want to become a millionaire, you need to only save $286. What do you think that he told me? Rodolfo, that's simple. Rodolfo, I wanted to buy a car, or other things.
I want to have fun.
I want to have fun. I forgot about it. Somebody who wants to have $1 million 30 years from now, they need to save only $670 per month. That is getting more difficult. If let's say I want to have $1 million 20 years from now, I need to do almost $1,700. So $1,700 per month. So it's getting more and more difficult. If I want to have $1 million 5 years from now, I need to do $13,000 per month. So my idea is, first you need to know, when do you want to have the money? When do you want to buy a house? And that's what the American dream is. A lot of people, we dream about coming to America or having a place to live and invite our friends, have a barbecue party. That's when I'm gonna call Rob when I finish over here. I need to buy a couple houses over here in Houston, and I love. That's the $1 million story is very powerful because we need to know how much and when do we want to have the money.
Another thing, if I might chime in,
of course you can chime in.
Rodolfo. I already didn't I? So one of the things that, most people, especially coming from other countries where, credit score is an unknown concept, is that you need to understand that you need to build credit. Whether you feel like it or not, the system tells you, what you need to do in order to use the system. Otherwise, the system just rolls you over. So you need to understand how to build credit. You need to know that it's not about getting a ton of debt, but it's getting enough so the bank system believes in you as a responsible person. And the better credit you have, the easier it's going to be for you to get a house, to get a car that you can actually afford to pay. It's different to buy a car when you have no credit, like when I started at 8%, than to buy a car at 2%. Is easier to pay off a house at 2.5 than at 8.9. You can buy it both ways, but how long will it take you to pay for it?
Well, and the one thing, I tell everybody, because I'm in financing, right? So my goal, I love to finance homes. I want, but let me put this out there to everybody, and it's very important. Not everyone is meant for home ownership, right?
Agreed.
Just because everybody else is doing it doesn't mean that necessarily it's good for you. Home ownership is definitely something that I think that individuals have to obtain, have to be responsible for.
You're talking blasphemy here.
Exactly, right?
It's a real estate show.
Exactly. No, what I'm saying, though, is there are some people that are not prepared to buy real estate today.
I agree with that.
And they have to get with a correct individual to plan to be able to afford that. I mean, one of the things that we've seen in our industry, it's happened, is we have seen that a lot of these changes have happened to allow stronger borrowers to come into the industry, right? And these stronger borrowers are they're now having to put money down while rates are really good. They're an all-time low. You do have to have skin in the game. And let me tell you, sometimes individuals have to plan to have that skin in the game. So while I want to finance everybody, exactly.
Yes.
While I want to finance everybody who could possibly get into a home, don't get me wrong, home ownership is not necessarily the best thing at this moment to begin with, right?
Rob, I'm going to miss Chris on the show.
Yeah, but what I will tell you, though, is as an investment vehicle going forward.
He had a good run, though,
He had a good run, yeah.
Exactly. But what I will tell you from an investment vehicle going forward, it's one of the best investment vehicles you can do over your lifetime.
Well, Ashley's holding up her finger again like that.
We've got some crazy expertise in the studio, but we've got a break coming up.
We do have another break coming up. Again, we are talking about putting your financial house in order. You can reach us at 800-808-5548 with any questions you have about financial planning, about mortgages, about credit, about anything we're talking about, putting your financial house in order. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.